Welcome to our very first episode of Behind the Patch, where we get to know our fellow pirates a little better and spotlight the greater things that they do. I'm Camila Carranza, and I'm really happy here to introduce our very first guest, which would be no better than Mr. Dr. Richardson himself.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Great to be here. Thank you.
Okay, first, I want to know a little bit more about your upbringing and understand a little bit more about yourself. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what kind of schools did you go to? Where did you grow up? What high school did you attend? All of that.
Yes. How do I make it concise to make a long story short in my journey? But I would like to start off to say I am an Oakland native. Grew up in Oakland, California. One of the things that I loved about the city that I grew up in was just the culture and being able to grow up in the midst of diversity, but also being proud of who I am culturally and knowing my background, but also being proud of others and their culture and learning from my neighbors, learning from my community. And so I am a true believer. It takes a village to raise a child. Teachers, community members, coaches, mentors, in addition, to your primary advocates, which is your parents. So I was very grateful to have an upbringing where I grew up. I had humble beginnings, but one of the things that was my true wealth was my knowledge of self and love for my culture and others.
So nice. What high school did you attend?
That was another journey. I went to two high schools.
Oh, really?
So way back when, I won't tell you the date, but I am a teenager of the '90s,
Uh-huh.
where the best music ever. But we'll talk about that
Mhm.
later. But I went to San Lorenzo High School,
Mm.
and that's in San Lorenzo, and that's a time where high school and that city started in eighth grade. So that was when I got there as a eighth grader. I thought that the seniors they looked like they were sophomores in college. So that was a huge culture shock for me to go from a middle school when I'm thinking that I was going to continue at a middle school. I jumped from eighth grade at a high school level. So I went there for 2.5 years, and then
Mhm.
I ended up transferring to my mom moved us to Union City. So I graduated from James Logan, and I was there from half second semester of my 10th grade year through graduation through 12th grade. So that was my high school experience.
So, since you guys started in eighth grade, did you have 5 years of high school?
Technically, I had 5 years of high school. Yes.
Oh, how do you think that made your high school experience different than a normal one?
It was very unique
Mhm.
because usually, as a ninth grader, for many ninth graders, and for me, I was timid. I was excited at the same time, but I was like, "Wow, I'm in this large high school
Yeah.
as a 13-year-old
Mhm.
turning 14," and it was intimidating. But I was able to navigate through the space. But I think that was an advantage point. So by the time I became a ninth grader, I was a pro. I was an upper class person, right?
Mhm.
Because I had experience at the high school for a year, so it's
Mhm.
kind of like pre-high school. But we were in high school amongst 18-year
Mhm.
olds. So I'm thinking, wow. So it was a shock, but it was an adjustment. But I think it was also an advantage for me to get accustomed to the high school culture in life.
And what sort of student were you? Were you like, were you in band? Were you in sports? What did you do in high school?
So it's interesting. My journey. I do have a musical background,
Oh.
family in music, but I played the trumpet seventh and eighth grade, and then when I got to ninth grade, I began to thrive in sports, and it was hard for me to balance music. And I to this day I love music, but sometimes I reflect like I wish I still played the trumpet because I did love playing the trumpet, and I love being in band and in music. But I played baseball, I played basketball through high school, and I also ran track.
Oh, you ran
Yes,
track.
I did.
Okay, that's so
Yes.
nice. And because you're a principal now, have you like visited your past high schools?
So that's a great question. Yes, I have.
Mhm.
I haven't lately, but when I would be called back from a lot of my favorite teachers to do guest speaking, just to share with them my journey through high school, but also to be a mentor and to give motivational speeches to high schoolers to let them know like you can do it and you can be successful in life and this is my journey. I was a student just like you, sitting in the same seat, and just giving students just a pep talk, but also I think the most important message that I give our youth is when you have self love and understanding of self, and your culture and pride in yourself, but also having the same love for others as you do yourself, and culturally, and respecting everyone's identity, and everyone's unique person. I think is that's where you're at an advantage as a human being, where you can connect with every single human being, see the human first. And I grew up. You talked about an earlier, like how did I grow up? And I was raised to never judge a human being and to see yourself in them.
That's so nice. So you
Yeah.
carry those morals with you while being a principal here.
Every day.
That's so nice.
Yes.
All right, then, so did you always intend to work in like the school environment? Was that always, did you always want to go down that career path?
That's a great question. Do you know when I was in 11th grade, that's when I decided I wanted to be a teacher. And
Really?
not only that, I wanted to be a fifth grade teacher. I was specifically like, they were like, why fifth grade? And so I had an experience. I come from a family of educators, but one of the things that really like just inspired me to be a teacher was my experience in high school being a TA, a teacher's aide at an elementary school. And I was actually my first year doing it. I was in third grade, and I just fell in love with how the art of teaching and how you inspire and teaching young ones how to not only to inspire them and to make them feel like they're learning in a safe space, but teaching them how to be literate and teaching them mathematics and always motivating them to be scholars rather than you're not good at this, you're not good at that. And I do have experiences where someone may have said to me, you're not good at this. And rather than me having I had good parenting and say, Reggie, don't let any human being make you think differently of yourself,
Yeah.
but always teach people how to treat you. And so I had great teachers, but I've had my experiences, but I want to be that teacher to where that student said, wow, at that time, Mr. Richardson loves me and he taught me math. He taught me how to read. And I always was fascinated about the art of teaching. And so my second year being a TA, I supported a fifth grade teacher, and both of those teachers were mentors to me. And that's where I fell in love with that career choice and that path. So everything I did was to prepare me to be an educator and to be a fifth grade teacher.
And the teachers that you were a TA for, did they have any like sort of impact on you, or what sort of impact did they have on you?
So they said it in a different way. The impact that they had on me is when I supported them. They always gave me good feedback. They said,
Mhm.
Reggie, you're a natural teacher. And when they said they didn't have to say that, but when they said that, I'm like, it also gave me motivation to be an educator because if someone sees something in me that maybe I didn't see in myself, that was just an extra motivation for me. And so to this day, I remember those teachers. I'm not in contact with them now, but I'll never forget their message.
That's so nice.
Yeah,
I hope you do get in contact with them soon.
yeah.
And I want to go a little bit into the universities that you
hmm
attended. So, which universities did you attend?
I love talking about my college career
Mm-hmm.
because people may not know unless I share that. Actually, when I was in high school, my goal was not to initially go to straight out of high school to
Really?
college.
What was your goal?
My goal was to go into the Air Force and to study fire science.
So, what made you want to go to college?
I knew that I wanted to go to college eventually,
Yeah.
but I wasn't. Um, I didn't have a desire. I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted to get a different form of education by studying abroad. And I knew that the Air Force would allow me to travel for free,
Mm-hmm.
but also I knew the Air Force would give me the experience to become a firefighter because I did want to become a firefighter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and my inspiration was my Uncle Dan. His name is I call him Uncle Dad because he was
Mm-hmm.
a father figure, and it's my mother's youngest brother. But we're to this day we're best friends. But he was a father figure to me, and he was my true superhero. And so I wanted to be like him.
Yeah.
And so he went to the Air Force. He went to Spain. He traveled the world. He traveled the United States, and I wanted to learn from other human beings, and that's another form of education. Some people limit their education to an institution or college, and college is great, but I wanted to be educated in a different way. And that was through traveling and to learning from different cultures and different human beings on this earth that we share. So that was my journey, but that didn't pan out because there's this thing called asthma. At that time in the 90s, if you had asthma, any asthmatic was exempt from all military branches. And so when I was in the recruiting office, about to be deployed out and to go into boot camp, and I was so excited, they had one more question, like, Reggie, Ronnie, because my brother was with me at the time. Hey, I forgot to ask you this question. I said, what question is that? Hey, do you have asthma? I said, yeah. Why? And they said, unfortunately, you're exempt from all military branches. So what I said is, wow, I swim, I played baseball, I currently run track. I have a full, I I have offers to run track at the university level. So why? And they said it was a liability. So with that being said, my mom said, I guess you're going to college. And that's what I did. So I went to Chabot. I went to Chabot Community College. That was my start of college. Ran track there, had a great experience, and I was afforded the opportunity to get a scholarship to run track at San Francisco State and do my studies there. And so I went to San Francisco State for undergrad, and I graduated from San Francisco State, a university, and then I went to UC Berkeley for grad school. And I continued my education because I consider myself a lifelong learner. I went through my doctorate program through Cal State East Bay.
So cool. What do you, because I know a lot of like students right now, they want to go to Berkeley or those schools that you just listed. What would you like tell them? Like, would you like motivate them to go to those schools?
Yes, I would. So I never encourage students to what college to go to. I encourage them that you have the options to go to any college that you want, and your journey is your journey, and go where you want and where it's the best fit for you. Because I have learned from my peers, from friends, family members, and as a teacher and as a principal, sometimes students are pressured to go where their sibling went, or there's this belief that one college is better than the other, and I like to dispel the myth. And I always use the shoe analogy. And the shoe analogy that I use, for instance, you're wearing Adidas. I'm wearing Kohans, but we both got to school, right? And so I share that as no matter, but like Nike and Adidas, so Nike is a more popular brand, but at the same time, Adidas is just an effective shoe. I ran track, and probably everyone would think, oh, you probably got Nike spikes. No, actually, the best spikes that I had were actually Adidas spikes. And I ran my best times. And those times got me qualified for me to go to nationals at the college level, but it also won me a conference championship. And so any college is great. Every college is great. I don't rank colleges. College is college. And I motivate students to say, go where you want to go. Don't go where someone thinks that you should go. And so I always preface that with my scholars, because your journey is your journey.
You were you were a sprinter?
I was a sprinter.
Did you ever consider long distance?
I did, but I wasn't a long distance runner. But guess what? I did train for long distance to be the best sprinter. So if it wasn't for my long distance training, I wouldn't be the sprinter that I was at the collegiate level.
Do you still run here and there?
No, I don't run on the track. However, I still have a love and joy for running and sprinting. I just can't sprint anymore. But if I were to get on the track and you would see me stride, you're like, no, Dr. Richardson, you still got some speed left in you. But I love the sport. That's one of my favorite sports. Track and field and basketball are my favorite sports to participate in and to watch.
Did you play basketball during school?
I did. Through elementary up to high school, I did. I was a point guard. I did transition when I got to James Logan to baseball and track. And so...
And going into the topic of sports, I wanted to ask you because every time I go to a school event, whether it's a choir concert, a sport event, or like a student super sac meeting, I always notice that you're there and that you're present. So I guess I wanted to ask you what motivates you to want to be so present in students' life outside of like school hours and more into like their own things? What makes you want to be present in those moments?
So I'm gonna share something like personal as a father. I'm a father,
Mm-hmm.
and I when I step on this campus, these are all my scholars,
Yeah.
and I want to make sure that they know that I have a great interest in their lives. I have a great interest and passion to see them succeed in whatever they do.
Mm-hmm.
And as a father, I have a son who's a sophomore here, and I have a daughter who will be a freshman here. And growing up, I wanted to make sure I was that father that never missed their events. Whatever they choose to do, I'm proud of them and I want to be there for them. So I feel and think the same thing of you and all of our other scholars, especially when I get an invite as well. But I always want to be present. I'm interested, and it brings me joy to see our students perform, whether it be in a play, whether it be in a jazz band ensemble, whether it be a marching band at the Warriors game or the pre-show, which was what scholars would say was fire. That was amazing. We could talk about that later. So proud of them. Soccer, being on that soccer, when it turns into a soccer field, but being on the sideline, our soccer team just made history. They're going to play vegetable down the NCS championship. They're going to be going to state. That didn't happen, but it's been 18 years ago. So they're making history. But I'm so proud of our scholars. Water polo, they made history. You know, they made NCS 2 years in a row, our football team. I could go on and on. I don't want to miss any of our other sports events, but our sports categories. But I'm proud of all of our students in sports and I want to add robotics. Like there's a big competition coming up, and I'm very passionate and committed to supporting all of our scholars. And it brings joy to see what brings our scholars joy as well.
Mm-hmm. I know it's always so nice seeing you there in the events and kind of getting support from you outside of a classroom. Because, you know, those at those events, students are doing their own performance and something outside of like something in the book. So it's so nice like seeing you outside of that. It shows how you have such a care for like what these students are doing. And
Thank you.
mhm.
Thank you so much.
And I know you have a twin brother, and he is also a principal. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. So how is having a sibling down the same career path as you are? How has that changed your career?
Well, that's interesting because that's an identical twin.
Mhm.
We have an identical career path,
Mhm.
and it just proud of him and his endeavors. And yes, he at a local high school. He's a principal at this College Park High School, and it's unique. But I'm still amazed because we may be identical twins, but we're different people and different styles, but the same passion and respect and love for our students and our staff. I think that's another thing I love also connecting with our teachers because they're amazing because, you know, they're also an intricate reason of why our students succeed. And so it's something magical. And I love working with and collaborating with our teachers, and we have amazing staff here. So I wanted to include that. But going back to my twin brothers, he's a mentor of mine. I'm very proud of him and the work that he does as a leader. And I learn from him every day, even though I grew up with him, but I still learn from him on a daily basis.
You guys went to school together and everything?
Every single school.
Did people ever like get you guys confused?
All the time.
Yeah.
To this day.
Really?
So this is how the other Dr. Richardson looks.
Just without the glasses? He doesn't wear glasses?
That's how he looks.
Okay.
And students, if you were to talk to students, some of our scholars on the soccer team, our cheer, that's another amazing sport where our cheer team is doing great. They showed up and they thought he was me. And he was in purple. College Park is purple. And they were instantaneously mad for a minute saying, "Are you playing a trick on us, Dr. Richardson? Why are you wearing purple?"
Yeah.
Why aren't you wearing our school colors?
Uh-huh.
He says, oh, I'm the other Dr. Richardson. I'm not your principal. And then I showed up and it just blew them away. It's like, wow, I didn't know you had a twin. So
They didn't know, yeah.
so it's remarkable.
Do you think you guys look alike? Because I know most twins, they're like, we don't look alike.
I grew up saying the same thing.
Yeah.
We don't look alike.
You guys don't look alike, but realistically, you probably do.
We don't want to admit it, but we do. Short funny story. He went into a Macy's department store looking for me.
Yeah.
And he was walking and he saw me from afar. He says, hey, we gotta go. Mom's waiting in the car. We gotta go. And he says, why aren't you coming? Come on. And I'm facing him and I'm waving my hand. And he's thinking I'm saying wait, but as people are looking at him, thinking he's talking to himself. But he gets closer. He was looking in the mirror.
Really?
And so he thought I was him in that mirror. And
Really?
so people looked at him funny and said, are you okay?
He was
said,
talking
no,
to
no. He's
himself.
like, no, I have a twin. And I showed up and the people in the department store started laughing because like, oh, we just want to make sure you're okay. So it was a funny moment and I kind of laughed too. I was like, you thought I was you in the mirror, but it was funny. But he was looking for me, but I don't think we look alike.
No, you don't.
But we are twins.
Yeah.
And so I have to admit we are identical.
Now I kind of want to transition into your time here in Pittsburgh High School. So what motivated you to become a principal and what is keeping you going?
What motivated me to be a principal? It's interesting because there's so many people in my life that inspired me to go into leadership. But one of the people that inspired me was my mother. She was a kindergarten teacher and she was an amazing teacher and a leader in her community. We lived in a community in Oakland that we had challenges, but my mom, we called it 37th Street, and her leadership, the way that she brought the community together, I was like, oh, how did she do this? She brought it to make our street safe for all the kids so we can go out and play and enjoy our childhood. And 37th Street in Oakland was a special place for me and my brothers and the kids in the community. And there was this neighborhood, this street where the adults came together to watch out for the students. And I saw my mom, as every other Friday, they had a neighborhood community meeting, which my mom led. And I took advantage of that. I didn't realize she was doing what she was doing at that time. I was just happy to be able to be outside at nighttime. And we were in our little court, in the town home court, and we would play with our friends. But one of the things, she inspired me to go into leadership in some type of capacity. Her mother was also my mama, who was a principal, who was one of the first African-American principals in Oakland at Washington Elementary, and who she moved from Washington, D.C. to Oakland. So we're pretty much the first generation Oakland natives. With that being said, my grandmother was an inspiration as well. And my grandfather was an inspiration, which was my dad's father, who was over the Peralta colleges and he was over the financial aid department in the community colleges. And that inspired me to learn their journey and how they were leaders. And that's something that inspired me. And then just going into teaching and professors seeing something in me that I didn't. So when I got my teaching credential program, when I went through my teaching credential program, I'm like, I'm going to be a fifth grade teacher forever. And I remember a professor calling me out of a month before graduating from my teacher credential program through San Francisco State. She calls me out of class, actually my brother and I out of class. And she said something to me that really offended me. And she said, you're not going to be a teacher for long. I just want to let you know, as you graduate and you're not going to be a teacher for long. And I'm like, I looked at my brother, like, that's so insulting. She goes, hold on. I don't, you're going to be a great teacher. Just hear me out. I see how you're a great leader. I see you on campus. I see how you interact with the kids and how you work with the master teachers. You are a true leader. And she saw something that I didn't see. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I was like, well, thank you, Dr. Estelle. And through that, after that conversation, I went to my department at San Francisco State. I said, hey, I'm just curious, how long does it take to become a principal? They said, well, you want to get your teaching experience, teach for 5 years, 4 to 5 years. And if you're interested, get into a master's program. And get your admin credential. And so guess what? In 5 years, I did that. I didn't say that was my plan because I did go into being a fifth grade teacher, which I loved. And then I got into UC Berkeley, got a full scholarship to go to UC Berkeley to get my master's and get my admin credential. And from there, that's when I started my school leadership.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
So, because you wanted to become a teacher before you became a principal, when you were going into becoming a principal, did you feel a little intimidated or unsure of your decision?
Yes, I was. I was hesitant even when jobs came up and opportunities for me came up. I was torn because I loved the impact that I had in the classroom with students. Um, one of the most touching moments in my life as a teacher is when I got a long email from a student and she reached out to me and she said, "Thank you. I just want to thank you. You're the reason why I'm a fourth grade teacher." And I set my room up the same way you set my room up. I do the virtues just like you do every morning. And without you and your brother and your mom, I would have never been a teacher. And I'll never forget that. Her name was Shalante. I'll never forget it. She is an amazing scholar. And now she's a teacher in Washington, D.C.
Oh my God, you
Yeah.
should be really proud of
Yeah,
yourself.
that was
You
one
really
of my,
did that.
no, thank you. Because
Mhm.
I would have never known if she didn't reach out to me that I had that impact. And so I tell people, and I was raised, you never know the impact that you have on people. So love them, respect them, support them, because you never know. So always be a positive force in someone's life.
I hope you continue to impact lots of students or other teachers here in Pittsburgh High School because I see that already, through your participation in this school. And going into that, what is your plan for Pittsburgh High School for the near future? Like, let's say 5 years from now.
So I want to just say I came into Pittsburgh High, and Pittsburgh High is already amazing.
Yeah.
So the teachers, our office staff, our CRAs, and our custodial, our food service, they all welcomed me to be able to go into the classrooms. And our teachers were just so welcome. Students, you all welcomed me. And the diversity in our staff, the diversity in our students, the beauty in our diverse cultures. So this school is already great. Now, me coming in, that I came in as a team player. I came in as a learner first, but also what can I do as a leader to contribute to the things that are already great at Pittsburgh High. So my job and my mission and my vision is to continue to improve upon our greatness. And I, as simple as I can say it, is we all have room. Me, I'm a lifelong learner. I learn from our teachers. I learn from our CRA team. I learn from our office staff. I learn from my admin team. They're amazing. They welcome me with open arms, and I learn from them every day. And I think good leaders are good learners, and they take feedback. I am always open for feedback and reflection, and I process in a way where, if I hear something from a teacher or from a student, I like to process and say, okay, how do we work together to make things better? And so that is my vision. I'm all about how do we improve as a community and what are areas that we want to maintain and sustain as a great methods or great systems, great culture, but what are the areas we need to improve on and what can I do to help? So that's the type of leader I am. I'm a community leader. And I also, our parents and our community welcome me with open arms. And I think it's so powerful. Our superintendent, our board welcome me with open arms. So we are truly a family-oriented district, and we are a community school. And I'm very proud and thankful and grateful that I work. It doesn't feel like work, but I work in a district that I am a member of, a part of. I'm a resident. I'm a Pittsburgh resident. I've lived in Pittsburgh since 1998, before you were born, before many of you were born. And so I just very proud to be a part of Pittsburgh High and the Pittsburgh Unified Community.
Yeah, I'm glad that out of all people, it's you that is here to lead our school. I already see a lot of good improvement and change in our school, even from like my freshman year to now. Like just seeing all the clubs or events, like band, everything that they have been doing throughout these years. They're doing amazing. So thank you so much for joining us. And I just wanted to end off on a note. What is one thing, tell us one thing that a normal pirate wouldn't know about you that you think that we would be fascinated to know? Like an interesting fact.
Okay, it's one or two facts, just one.
If you want to give off two, you can give off two.
So many people don't know that I'm a chef.
You're a chef?
Yes, I'm a chef that doesn't get paid.
Really?
I love to cook.
And what do you mean by that? Like, do you cook for your family?
Anything. I'm an international cook. I grew up learning how to cook different dishes from different cultures, African dishes, soul food, which is African American dish. I cook Mexican food. I can cook Italian food, Chinese food. I can cook anything because I love food.
Uh-huh.
I love culture, and I've learned from many of my neighborhood community moms and dads. I know how to cook pasteles. I really am immersed in Puerto Rican culture, Mexican culture. As an African American, we have a unique name for African American food, which is called soul food. So grew up eating soul food, learning how to make. I can cook adobo. I love Filipino food.
So you make
you name it, shrimp fried rice. I make gumbo.
Really?
Greens. I'm naming all of my dishes.
So at the potlucks, you cook your own food?
Yes, I tell the staff that knows me or they have tasted my food. I've had community members, my family says, when you retire, Dr. Richardson, you should open up your own restaurant. And you know what I say? Once you have my food, you'll stop going to restaurants.
Wow. So hopefully one day you'll make food for all of us, for all the students in Pittsburgh High School.
That's my hidden talent.
Hopefully. Let's see when you can cook up for us.
Right.
All right. But again, thank you so much. Or was there another fun fact?
Oh, I used to have a dance group. I used to dance. Yeah.
What was it? Hip hop, salsa?
You were. I can salsa.
Really?
I integrate different dance arts and forms in my hip hop dance. So Afro Haitian. I've done Afro Haitian dancing. A little forms of capoeira, but I was a hip hop dancer. And through high school, won a few talent shows too.
So I guess now you owe us a huge potluck along with dance lessons.
Yeah, and I think I hung up my dance shoes. I still have some in the dance tank, but we'll see if the music moves me. I'll do a little tutorial.
Yeah, hopefully. We need a dancing lesson from Dr. Richardson. Yes. Okay, well, again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being our first guest on Behind the Patch, with hopefully many more guests to come. Hearing your story has been really inspirational. Thank you for sharing so much about yourself and putting yourself out there for everyone to learn so much more about you. You know, we wouldn't know all this if we just walked by you in a hallway.
Yes.
But now that we had the time to sit down with you and learn more about you, now I know more about you as a person. So thank you so much for sharing everything.
No, and thank you too. One, you're a great interviewer. This is amazing, and your intentionality when you checked in with me prior to this.
Yeah.
To remind me to check in, knowing how busy I am. You were so pleasant and understanding, but I did not want to miss this. This was so important. So I thank you for your time. I thank you for this moment, and to be continued. But this made my day.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Richardson.
No, you're welcome.
Well, until next time, do you have anything to say to the camera?
Hey, love you all, and go Pirates.
Go Pirates. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Thank you. To be continued.
To be continued. Yay!